Welcome in, everybody, to our Wednesday webinar. Today, we're talking about how to replace your yearly income with a single subdivide. Dan should be in here in a minute. Really excited to get into this topic. This is something that is extremely accessible, really, for everybody. Replacing your income with a single subdivide. I was looking up, Dan. Are you in here? Where are you? Camera. Let me get this.
Am I here?
There we go. Cool. Yeah, I was looking up. Let me see. What's the average salary right now?
Salary?
Yeah, just in general, because that's what topic is, replacing your income with a single subdivide. $63,000. It looks like $64,000 or so. I mean, really, you can double that with a single subdivide, honestly.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I like this topic a lot. Subdivides are the thing we're after these days. I mean, when you think of our focus and what 2024 was and going on to 2025, subdivides is not only the biggest part of our business now, Ron, but just in general for what we're teaching and what we're really pushing people to do once they get their feet under themselves, essentially.
It's cool to see them because in our members calls, like that's what we see so much of now. And it's not the only thing. Absolutely. Like you can still flip land, buy for 20, sell for $40,000. You can do that all day long. But as far as like doing these project-based stuff, I know we're closing on one that's $750,000 sale, I think, here soon. Just these different big ones that might take a little longer, but you're going to make a lot more money, and it's not that much work, honestly.
Yeah, and that was a potential subdivide one too that we're kind of analyzing. What's going on, Edwin?
I think your mic
Robert.
just changed, maybe, Dan, onto something else. Check your mic, Dan.
Oh, okay.
Might
Do you hear me all right now?
Or something like. I don't think it's coming through your. Max, Dana, Alan, Robert, Edwin, how's everybody doing? What the question of the day is today, guys, what are your predictions for the land flipping market for 2025? Nothing about you personally necessarily, just question of the day. What are your predictions for the land flipping market, opportunity, everything like that? Maybe it's just the general real estate market. Question of the day. All right, let me put this in there.
You know, the things were kind of held back, in my opinion, with the elections looming and everything going on the election side of things. I'm glad that's behind us now because now that just takes a lot of energy from people, I think, and economical resources. People are just kind of waiting on the sidelines, seeing what happens. It's just in general, I think since that happened, it seems like things are moving really, really fast business-wise for us.
I'm excited for it. I think it's not even like a result is what matters. It's just like the uncertainty, I guess, that just affects things for sure.
You feel it a lot leading time in business, leading up to it. It's what people are thinking about. It's on their mind. It's just another thing. And I don't like election time. I'm excited it's behind us because that's just, you can feel it in business for sure.
Yeah. When I think about like the predictions for land flipping market, I think the overall real estate market's huge on it. People entering the business model, people leaving the business model, different strategies that are going on. That's what I kind of think of about when I'm thinking about predictions for like the land. How are you going to be successful in land flipping in 2025? Is it going to be impossible to be successful? Is it too oversaturated? Is it too whatever it is? I think that's what I'm kind of seeing as far as just.
Yeah. And that's the competition is not a bad thing. Competition means it's working for people. So I like that comment, Robert, or
Naeem and Robert. Yeah,
said, just stay consistent. Bad competition will wash out and blame competition. Good competition will find ways to get deals. There's so many parcels of land out there, and there's not that many land investors in general. The competition's still very, very, very low compared to other markets or other industries. I mean, so I hear that, and I hear what people are saying about the competition, but you know what the competition is in survey hacking, Ron? Zero.
No, yeah, it's different strategies. That's what
the competition is for $250,000 plus plots of land to subdivide?
Very little.
Very little. Very, very, very little competition because there's no one sending out. There's no one that has access to funds for a $500,000 flip or $500,000 subdivide. I'm not saying no one, but it's like 20,000. A lot of people can do that. 200,000, a lot less. 500,000, a lot less. So the higher you up your dollar to have good funding relationships, that's why I always say with these bigger deals, your financing situation is one of the most important pillars of your business. Whether it's hard money, whether it's friends and families, whether it's creative financing to tackle the deals, that is such a critical part of your business when you're attacking these big deals.
Huge. I want more. We got 100 plus people, guys, in here. Let us know your thoughts. What are your predictions for land flipping market in 2025? I want to see some more predictions, some more. Maybe you're not into it yet, and I'm researching right. And whatever the situation is, Philip said less demand in info lots with less construction since mortgage rates are still elevated and Fed isn't cutting as aggressively. Higher rates might reduce buying power for buyers using loans. I don't know enough about the obviously the building market affects info. I just think it's always. I just think it's always about your buy price, though. Like, I think deals can be made. Any type of land deal can be made, just depending on the price. When less people are building, you need to get info lots for a cheaper price. That's just my mindset. I don't know about as much about info lots as some people, obviously, but that's just my thoughts on anything in real estate.
Yeah, I saw someone, one of the whole big wholesalers I was talking to, like thousands of deals, or he wholesales and flips, and he buys on market deals too. And he said the last 12 to 16 months, maybe longer than that, since interest rates have been higher, all his deals have come from on the market, just because there's not that many home buyers. Like in certain markets where he is, there's not as many home buyers. When interest rates drop, he has to start going back to wholesalers and getting deals from them and tackling them for his flips and his long-term holds from them. And it was kind of interesting to hear that because it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I like the positive. A lot of people are looking forward to, which is exciting for sure. John said there's little competition for landlocked. Yeah, there's definitely some opportunities in that and very, very little competition if you can figure out how to do it. I'm digging much better info than rural. I'm digging much better for info than rural. Land is not everyone's first choice, so I think the competition is low. Absolutely, Jemiah. Yeah, there's so much opportunity. What are your thoughts, Dan, and on it as a whole next year, going in the next 12 months?
I mean,
already December.
Yeah, no, it's taking off right now. You can feel the momentum swinging. I mean, Black Friday was our hottest Black Friday ever, and that just shows the optimism of people coming in. I think you see it. You hear less external excuses right now. Like, people are getting it done. Deals are happening. I just feel very, very good about this. Much better than 12 months ago.
It used to be when people came in, there's like a straight line on what people are doing. You go from here to here to here. Now it's like they're spreading out and people are doing mail with follow-up text. People are doing cold text. People are doing survey hacking. People are doing subdividing. There's so many different directions that people are going in when they're joining and they're getting a coach with us or something like that, whatever it is. And it's very cool hearing people. Their education on it is very, very clear. And that's what I'm so excited for, is big deals like we're going to be talking about today. Big deals happening in 2025. As this market grows, I think there's so much value in just the education behind it.
Yeah, and that's why we were, to your first point, so adamant on our name. When I remember like land investing, we're like, oh, but we're flipping land. Why don't we call it land flipping? And I'm like, land flipping is a buzzword. It is what we're doing, but investing's broad. It's still in the niche of land, but it's broad. We can buy notes and hold notes with land, and with the term land investing. We can buy notes and hold them. We can survey hack. Survey hacking's been huge these last 6-8 months. We can subdivide. There's just so many. You can buy landlocked properties, put access there. There's just so many different things you can do, and I think it's really that's the best thing about it. I think people are getting more into that.
Yeah, because I remember when we came with, and we're not big on like, all right, take forever to come up with names and stuff like that. We did take a while for the land portal, I think, but land investing online. I remember when we were talking about it in particular, like flipping. We started this business out flipping 100%. So we're going to educate people, but we were very clear, like Dan said, as far as like, let's not just stick just
things change. Competition gets higher. You got to look for other routes.
100%. We're not just straight flipping. Sometimes some people are going to come to us and I want to buy land for 60% of market value. I want to learn how to buy land for 60% of market value, and I want to hold it for the next 30 years. I just want to build a portfolio. Other people do notes. There's so many different routes, which I love so much, and that's got me really excited. Yeah, not just next year, next 5 years, honestly.
And I showed my friend how, because this is on topic. I showed my friend, he wanted 10 acres in the middle of Florida, north of Orlando, and I said, stop looking for 10 acres. Let's look for 80. I found him 80 acres. Or he sent me 80 or 100 acres or something like that, and I told him split it up. 10 9-acre parcels. There's lots of room and road frontage there, and keep 10 acres to yourself. You'll make $58,000, $50,000 to $70,000, and you'll keep 10 acres for free. You can hold that. So like that's another strategy too. If you want to hold land long term, you can get that plus profit and hold a little piece if it's in a good area.
Absolutely. Rolando said, I think the real estate in general is in the climate of 2007, 2008. Bubble is about to pop. I mean, if people can't pay their mortgages, that's what happens. I don't think people.
That's like the office space. Yeah, that could pop it for sure. I've actually heard there's a lot of bankers in general are more pessimists about this run.
About the real estate market as a whole, or different? Because those leasing can have a market of their own.
No, but what do you mean?
Like
they're saying the leases, so the commercial real estate is going to be taken down by office space, essentially people defaulting and backing out of leases, and then obviously the owners of the building can't pay the mortgage, therefore it defaults and goes into foreclosure, and then the banks get screwed, and then it trickles from there. A lot of big commercial bankers are pessimists on this.
Interesting. Dan, will get to you. Mike and Kathy, I guess they DM'd you. Saw things tick up big time on the sales side in the last month or so. Election really seemed to have people being more optimistic. Love it. Unemployment is still low. I don't think we know what unemployment is. They seem to just make up numbers, kind of like a political poll or something. Because those seem to they had unemployment numbers and they just changed all of a sudden.
Did they? I don't follow up.
There's a lot of things. I was never mind. I don't want to get into it that much. There's just a lot of things that don't go into unemployment. I forget all the stuff that went into it. But
4.1% is what they say. Oh, I see what you're saying. There's a massive spike. Oh no, that was COVID spike. Yeah.
They had a bunch and then they just marked a bunch. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it.
Around 4%.
Yeah.
If that's accurate.
Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. I love it. All right, cool. Let's get started here, guys. Today, like I said, or like the topic is, we have about 20 minutes. How to place your yearly income with a single subdivide. This is not going to be, I don't want to say this isn't going to be in depth. I'm going to try to give as much information as possible, but this is 20 minutes. We're going to try to give you a wide picture of what to do. We're going to focus on a couple of different things here, but let's get rolling here. And the great thing about subdividing, if you guys haven't already, hit the subscribe button below. We have videos come out 3-4 times a week. Try to provide as much value to you guys as possible. The thing about subdividing, Dan, that we love so much is there's a couple of things. You can buy properties for such a high percentage of market value. When we just buy a piece of land and we flip it, we like to buy it for $50,000, sell it for $100,000. If you have that same property that's worth $100,000 and you can subdivide it, you might be able to pay $80,000, $90,000 and still sell that for $200,000. It's a blurry picture here. But this is what we're talking about when we're talking about subdividing. We're not necessarily talking about info lots. We're talking about subdividing into 2, 3, 10-acre lots, stuff like that, where we're not trying to subdivide into quarter-acre lots. Can you make a ton of money there? Absolutely. That's not our expertise. We like more rural land where we're selling to people who want to put a mobile home on a lot, want to hunt on a lot. So that's what we're talking about when we do this. Breaking 50 acres into 5 10-acre lots, breaking 50 acres into 7 7-acre lots, stuff like that are the deals that we're really looking for when we're talking about subdividing. Mm-hmm. And the term is, Dan, there's a minor subdivide. Major subdivide is what you think about in terms of a neighborhood. That's where there's 100 lots on, I don't know, 120 acres or something, whatever it is, where it's a ton of tiny little, and the only use for those lots are building a house. Minor subdivides are kind of what we're looking like here. Okay, you have good road frontage here, and you can subdivide. I don't know, this might be 2 acres each. It might be less than that. I don't know. And then you subdivide like that. Anything to add there, Dan?
No, I think that's a good explanation. We're just talking about buying a big chunk of land with good road frontage, or you can put in your own split or whatever and just chopping it up along the road. Or if it doesn't have as much road frontage, being creative on that side. But these are, you take 100 acres, make it 10 10-acre parcels, 25-acre parcels. You take 20 acres, make it 4 5-acre parcels. You take 10 acres, you make it 5 2-acre parcels. So really simple. We keep it very simple because the math is, I always say the Costco analogy of buying 1,000 hot dogs at Costco versus a baseball game. You buy more land, you're going to get a good price per acre on it, and then you chop it up and you get more price per acre the smaller the lot is.
Yeah, and one of the keys, I was talking to someone about it, I don't remember. One of the keys is having a wide spread of like a 5. So when you're looking at areas, and that's what we'll get into. So choosing a market is kind of that first step. Let's go through these steps actually before I get into that. So step 1, choosing a market, and the green ones are ones we're going to go over today. So you're choosing an area to target. Number 2 is getting ownership data. Then once you have the ownership data, like you have 500, 700 parcels of land that's good subdividable land in an area that makes sense, then you're going to contact them via text, via phone call, via direct mail, there's via email, via PPC, if you can figure out that. There's so many different ways, but that's kind of that marketing aspect when you're contacting land. Yeah, probably not a good idea for this. But then you're negotiating and purchasing. You contact them. You have a conversation with them. You're negotiating. You're purchasing. After you purchase is when you're going to subdivide, and then you're going to sell. This is obviously broken down pretty simply here, but we'll get into more detail on the first and second choosing and marketing, getting ownership data here in a second, Dan.
Yeah.
So choosing to market, what I was going to get into, Dan, when you're looking at price, what I was going to say there before is you want to find a county that makes sense for subdividing. You generally want a wide spread between like a 5-acre price per acre and a 50-acre price per acre. That's so you can buy just from a math perspective. So let's say, let me just do a text box right here and do some math real fast. All right. So let's say 50 acres. So let's say 50 acres is, I don't know, let's just say 4K an acre. And then you have 5 acres is, I don't know. Do you think 8K, 8,500 is crazy, Dan?
No, not at all.
Okay. So let's just say like 88K. So it's double.
It could be more than that even in some
Definitely
areas.
could be. So
Like a lot more.
So what this is basically saying is you have 5 acres selling for 40,000, you have 50 acres selling for 200. And that's the Costco effect that Dan's talking about. So you go to buy this 50-acre parcel, and let's say you're planning on splitting this 50-acre parcel into 10 5-acre parcels. That means you can get $500,000 for this parcel when it's, I'm sorry, $400,000 for this parcel when it's all split. So 10 5-acre parcels, which is 50 acres, is going to get you 400K.
And that's the nice thing about backing into this offer. So what would market value be for 5 acres or for 50 acres then, Ron?
200 grand. So you can literally buy for 50% and double your money.
Exactly.
You can buy, I'm sorry, you can buy for market value theoretically. These are, you want, and what I'm saying is you want the spread between these. Some areas that are hotter, it might look like this. It might look like 10K an acre and 11K an acre. This is not unrealistic. I've seen this a lot where just land is being bought. Maybe a lot of the buyers want to subdivide, so they're paying a lot. I don't know. But this is something that I've seen a lot in hotter areas, maybe something like this. And the spread just isn't here. The value in splitting isn't here, where the value in splitting, when you can get something and double its value just by splitting it 10 times, is a huge, huge difference. And that's why these are the areas you want to target.
And that's exactly the math to why we can buy at market value and still double money and get a, insane profit return.
Very, very important when you're looking at market.
On market deals are good for these, Ron.
100%. You definitely can find some in some not even slower areas. Some of our best subdivides take 8-10 months, but the great thing is we get our money back after we sell 2 of the properties. So for example, that I'll put that back up for a second. For example, you split into 10 5-acre parcels. And let's say you just buy it for market value, buy it for $200,000. All you have to do is sell 5 of those parcels, and then you have your money back already, assuming you sell for $40,000 a piece. And then everything after that is profit, which is the amazing part about this.
Yeah, and I know a lot of you guys are in here every week, but if you guys are liking what we're showing in this math and choosing our the topic today, subdividing and all that, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It really keeps us coming back every week, but appreciate it if you guys hit that.
Absolutely. So you want to look in, you want to look a couple, I like looking couple counties removed from major cities, but these are the questions. When we're choosing a market, you can find a lot of these answers online. Sometimes, a lot of times you are going to, I know one of our students, he likes calling the counties just so he can make sure he knows what he's getting. So the first thing you ask them, first off, you want to make sure you find areas where all you need is a survey to subdivide. And usually that is defined as what like a minor subdivide is. Some areas are going to be like, yeah, this is a minor subdivide, but you still need to get county approval or board approval or go in front of a board. But what you want to do, how can I subdivide essentially with just a survey? Okay, the first question you ask a county is how many lots can I split into it? Okay, I'm gonna actually get that back on there, Dan. Okay, so you have this 50-acre parcel. You're under you have this. Let's just say you have this 50-acre parcel. You're asking them how many lots can I split this into? You want to know this before you target the county for sure. But maybe they just tell you can just split into 3 parcels. That's the most you can split into. All right, that's not going to yield you as much money as splitting into 10. Is there a minimum acreage I can split into? If yes, what is the acreage? Yes, you can't split any less than 5 acres. So this would work perfectly. Some counties are going to be like, yeah, you can split it, but you need to keep every parcel at least 10 acres. It's not a common one, I don't think, but 5 is very normal. 3 is normal. I hear that a lot in rural America. Does each lot need to have road frontage? Does each lot need to have public road frontage? Is a very, very important question. And if yes, how much road frontage? Some are going to say like you need at least 200 feet of road frontage.
And there's sometimes exceptions too if there's if it's
flag
like
shaped
flag shaped property. So you
yeah,
want to see that.
I've seen that a lot where there are exceptions for flag shape. And then just asking them anything else I need to know about subdividing in your county. Is there anything else that I need to know? Sometimes they might be like, yeah, I know I told you I can. We had one in particular. They're like, you can subdivide as many times as you want. You can go down to 2 acres. And then I kept on asking them questions. And then at the end, they're like, just so you know, if you go under 10 acres for any of these lots, they will not get approved for mobile homes. So that like, oh shit, I can't do that. I'm not going to do that because this was rural America where I wanted my buyers to be able to put mobile homes because I knew it was going to kill my buyer pool. So I changed that breakdown from 70. It was 70 acres. I think we're going to do 14 parcels of a range of different sizes, like 4 to 7 acres around there. And I threw that entire plan out the window when they said that. And then I ended up doing 7, I think it was like 10 or 10.5 acre parcels.
Yeah. Any questions on this, guys? I know that was a lot of questions. Screenshot that. This is what you need to be asking the counties every time when you're looking for it. Going back one step from here, choosing a market, where do you start? Honestly, it's not a bad idea to start in your backyard. If you guys are in an area and you have a city in that area, a decent size, it doesn't even need to be a decent size city, but start in your backyard. Like if I was still living in Cincinnati, I would start in Northern Kentucky, Southwest Ohio. In general, these are fun to be with, and you can go and you can go to the site and stuff. These are $200,000 deals, $400,000 profit deals. They're worth going to, and you can build really solid relationships in person too. It's not necessary completely, but that's a good place to start.
It's literally one deal, guys. So like one deal can change your life for something like this. Like, is it gonna help you retire? Probably not. But as far as it is a deal a year, and that's what I want to get into. Some people that's not gonna be everyone's strategy, and some people are gonna make $10,000 on some deals, which is awesome. But like some people who might have limited time, like it is one deal to replace your income, and that's really what this is about. Like you get that deal that I talked about where it was 70 acres. We bought that for 130. We sold it for 350. Maybe $10,000 of survey expenses, something like that. But we made $200,000 on the deal. I think we actually got an outside funder. We didn't fund it ourselves, and we owed him like 10 grand. I think we were all in for like 150 and sold for 350 or 355. And those are the deals. Very rural America, and that property that we bought for 130 was only worth like 150 market value. Then we split it up and made it worth 350. So that is the value in it. Let's get to getting ownership data, Dan. And we do all this on the land portal. I believe there's a link in there. Do you have it up, Dan?
It's there, 14-day free trial. Yep.
Okay, so there's a 14-day free trial to land portal in the description if you guys aren't already a member. I know a lot of you guys are already a member. But what we're looking at here when we're doing this, you have a county, Dan, you want to target?
Ashtabula County, Ohio.
Ashtabula County, Ohio. So when you're
doing this, you're pulling this up, Ron, just real quick. So Ravi asked the question: do you put the property under contract first and then check with the county subdivide, or vice versa? When you're targeting these subdivides like this, some will fall naturally, but you're going to know these before. Ask those questions to the county before sending out your mail, marketing, text, whatever it is. So you're going into this county with the intent to subdivide every deal you get. And the reason why we can do this is because of the land portal and all the tools on here. We can target the road frontage. Ron's about to walk you through that right now, but you're going to already know all the regulations going in.
Good question. All right. Let's zoom in a little bit. All right, cool. So what we're going to do on the land portal here, I'm on the filtered search section. I'm going to go to state, and Dan wanted to do Ashtabula County, Ohio. And there's no perfect way to do this as far as like what acreage range should you target? What road frontage should you target? There's not a perfect thing, and that's what I love about this. Just like survey hacking's even more, Dan. Like there's so many different strategies. Subdividing's the same thing. Like you can get really, really creative with this stuff. There's some people that are specializing in getting parcels with less road frontage, and they're putting roads in. Like there's all different types of things. That's going to get more major subdivide. So let's not talk about that. But let's go.
Not acres. Always, though. You can sometimes put a gravel road,
dirt
gravel without being major.
For sure. And that's a cool little niche in this. Let's go 20 and it's not a lot of money of marketing. That is one of the coolest things. Like, you're not spending a lot of money. So filters that I had up here, guys: acreage, road frontage, wetlands, floodplain. Okay, so acreage, road frontage I haven't done yet, and you can do other stuff out of state. I really don't like doing that. We're gonna be marketing. We're gonna be offering such a high percentage of market value on this. Like, we want to contact everyone. I don't care if they're next door. I
Yeah.
don't care where
This
they
isn't
are.
a 40% offer, guys. You can go up to 70, 80, 90% on these, depending on the situation. Obviously, get it as low as possible.
All right. So road frontage, what do you think, Dan? So let's go 20 to. I'm gonna go 20 to 100 instead of 20 to 60. Road frontage, you want to go minimum. So if we have 20 acres, a lot of places, like, we're getting down to 5-acre parcels.
You
I've seen
can
like
so
600 maybe.
for the
Dan.
sake of this, we're gonna do it simple.
Let's do 20.
But when you
I'm gonna
guys
do
are doing this yourselves, you can do smaller increments and then do the road frontage accordingly. So if you do 20 acres in your county, you need a minimum of 5 acres to subdivide, or you can't subdivide any less than 5 acres. You can back into that. So you can maybe do 20 to 30 acres with, and then do the math on how much road frontage you need for 5 acres essentially, and then you can do the minimums like that. What I would suggest.
Let's just do 500 for now, just to do that. And for FEMA coverage, like, when you're subdividing, you don't want a lot. Like, I might go.
Do more than 500. That's a lot. That's a little.
Yeah, I agree.
Do like 800 or 1,000.
Okay,
do 1,000.
800. 800 fine. Minimum FEMA. So we want the FEMA to be 0, correct?
Yeah.
And 0. Let's just go 0 to 30. I'm gonna go 0. No, I'm sorry. Wait, 30% FEMA. Yeah. I get confused with this sometimes, Dan.
I get backwards with it. We just changed it. It'll be changed on here.
Okay, so wetlands 0 to 50. Okay, no, I wanted this actually 0 to 50, and I want wetlands 0 to 30 because wetlands are little.
So this is saying we're going to have 800 feet of road frontage minimum, and you can do that whatever you need. And then we're going to have nothing more than 30% in a FEMA and nothing more than 30% in a wetlands. You can do 0% if you don't want anything wet at all, which is fine. Just up to you guys. But the thing is, when you chop these up, you want all the parcels to be good. And when you have 30, 40% wetlands or FEMA, some of those parcels are going to have wetlands. So just got to be careful when you subdivide them accordingly.
Brian, could you bring that question to the members call just for time's sake? I want to make sure I don't miss it. All right, I'm going to hit apply now. Did I get everything there? I think I got all the filters that I mentioned. Acreage, road frontage, wetlands, floodplain. Okay, cool. 450. There's only 450 properties, but these are going to be amazing properties for this. So we hit list view. We have some new features that are coming out in terms of the view here. So you can't show on map here. Now we have them all on map. And what I like to do before I pull any list or anything like that, what you're looking at, you're just looking at the quality of the land you're getting. So you go on a property like this and you click in. Just click in here. I'm going to change this map in.
That looks odd.
Yeah, I agree. There we go. Okay. That satellite map was just a little odd there. And you go into this, like, this is 1,900 feet of road frontage. This is perfect. Like, yeah, it's farmland. Might be a little weird to subdivide. But as far as the quality of parcels, like, look how much frontage.
You can remove farmland, too, if you wanted to.
Look at the amount.
These are really, really nice parcels. Wow.
So it just has some trucks on here or something, but it doesn't mean this person won't sell. Then you just cut this up, and on the land portal after you.
That's a perfect subdivide deal right there, Ron. Explain why.
Yeah, so let's just do it. We'll just build it out. How many acres is this? Did I click it? 26 acres, 2,900 feet of road frontage. And what you can literally do on the land portal after you start getting these leads, this one's so simple because you have so much road frontage. But I don't know. Let's say you're trying to make 5-acre parcels. And you can just go through and make this. One thing that's key, Dan, is when you are, and someone asked earlier, I think it was Skis or something like that, asked earlier, like, how long does it take to sell? It's going to take longer to sell if all your parcels are the same size. Yep. So varying them up. Maybe you do a 7-acre, maybe you do a 4-acre, maybe you do a
1 acre in the corner or 2 acre.
Yeah, you can.
In the front right corner.
And this definitely isn't perfect the way I'm drawing this. We'll go like this, and we'll see if we can do 2, Dan. I'm going to make a little different shape here.
Show them. Yeah, you can do 2 right there. I want to show one more thing before we.
But very simple. But this is what you buy this. You could buy this from market value. I guarantee it.
I would make this is a good area too. Go to Ashtabula County and do this. Ron, go show a parcel and show a flag shape just so and when you have less road frontage, you guys can get creative. So I want Ron to show you what a flag shape property looks like real quick.
All right, cool. Let's go. Less road frontage.
Right there on the right, maybe the big one. Okay,
Let's
yeah,
go
that
here
works
and we'll
too.
do 2. So flag shape is what Dan's talking about. I feel like you're better at drawing these than me, but we'll figure. No, I'm not gonna do that. Let's go here. Here. So you don't have enough road frontage just to cut down the road frontage. It's gonna be very weird long parcels. You do have some over here. Oh, I was
You can do
mistaken.
4 part.
Shoot. This
You
is a
could.
road frontage.
That's a
over here.
double side.
No, it's not. This is a railroad.
Okay, do it from there then.
So let's just say you go like, you can keep this very thin.
This is how you get a lot of parcels out of.
Yeah, you can
less road
do
frontage.
you can do very
And on
like,
ag land like this, I'd recommend it because building a driveway, you don't need to clear forestry or anything like that, so it
100%.
makes it really easy.
So it's a
That's
flag
what a
shape
flag
because it
shape
looks
is.
like a flag pole, I guess, right?
But yeah.
You can have these way thin.
You
You'll
can
see
make a
flag
lot
shapes. You
more
go to some
parcels.
areas, you'll see flag shapes. Like even no, that's not really a flag shape because it should widen out. But yeah, you can get creative with it. The one we did over here is just a very simple one. But overall, that's what you do. You build your list. You can export directly from here on the land portal. That's going to give you. You can skip trace, get phone numbers, so you can call them. However you want to market to them.
There's a free trial in there, guys. Hit that link and
join the
join
free
up.
trial if you guys
You get
aren't
all
already.
these mapping tools, all this stuff to subdivide, all the road frontage features unlocked. So hop in there and make sure to get that access.
Someone from this call Dan is going to quit their job from this next year.
I guarantee it. There's 115 people in here right now.
Exactly. How long does it take to sell all these? That's what I talked about. What makes for a good good land, good road frontage is huge, like you said, Skis. Other than that, guys, we need to end it. We need to hop in our members call. If you guys, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you guys aren't. We'll be back next Wednesday.
Love it.